much nicer last time we were here.
Yeah, I bet. Oh. That looks different. High-rise canals, we can come closer to that. Yeah, why don't we take a look? Being watched. True. Lovely.
Hey there, little guy. You lost? No? We better move.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Get him.
Ooh, okay. Because those guys shoot these projectiles at us, and as you can see, they have a pretty large area of effect. So we're gonna have to stay quite mobile to avoid getting hit by them, I would think. Jaunt is probably our best friend in that regard. Jaunt through here. And love if we could still initiate the help on our turn. What if we do this?
Hey, get back here.
And at least... Ooh, oh, that's not good.
Now, Luna.
Now we have our friend, Luna / Parker. Okay, so... Send her over. There's a long ways to cover. Oh, look at this. This is just for scientific purposes, but look at how far she can travel with her turn bar. So she is much more efficient at running, which is good because since she does not have access to abilities like Jaunt, we are definitely relying much more on her running capabilities. That looks like a backstab. Yeah, nice. Her bark is very expensive, though. I suppose that does make sense. And then over to Red. So Luna's taking care of one of them. So Red take care of the other. Okay, and with her, we theoretically also have a backstab here. So let's see what that amounts to. 150, as I said previously, although we could just throw another one on here and theoretically that's enough to take this out, the stagger / really the knockback from breach, or any ability, tends to mean that subsequent breaches oftentimes miss. So I'm not the biggest fan of going for a second breach. I think maybe instead we'll move in and go for a spark. Even if the damage is not as good. Actually, can we? We're moving in a tiny bit. We have enough for a second spark? No, we won't. Okay. I think we still settle for that, though. Cluckers is apparently their name. How dare you go after Luna? How dare you? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Super overkill? Yeah, we'll do it. Here, we'll see. Tell you what. We'll try going with a second breach slightly off to that side, and then a third one slightly off to this side, and just see if these secondary breaches hit when we're deliberately putting them slightly off the target to see if the knockback happens to knock them into the subsequent breaches. Then again, we're not really going to be able to tell if the enemy just immediately dies.
What was that all about?
And there we go. We've reached level 5.
Again.
So we can select balance. Oh, did we not take this before? I guess we saw it, but we didn't take it. It was one of the abilities that we had in one of those test arenas. Or switch. I think we've seen both of these before, but we must have opted not to take either of them. This is the chain reactive deflecting. Discharge a ricocheting bolt that jumps from target to target. That is useful AoE. Or that's the active ability. Or on the passive side, add a chain reactive effect to most functions. Again, I am curious to see how that affects help, because I don't know how there's a chain reaction of bites or barks, but maybe. Then for switch, alter target's allegiance, causing it to serve the user. Ah, yes, we did see this before. Or integrates allegiance altering subroutine into most functions. I vaguely recall that I may have used a combination of help plus switch in my initial Transistor playthrough, and I'm not sure how effectively I used it. I feel like I did not use the turn well for the doggo. Whereas if we're just conscious of when and where and how we're doing that, then maybe that can be a decent combo for us. And just further turning the doggo into a support skill that can not only be one friend, but can be a friend that makes additional friends. And also that's fitting, right? The dog walks up to people and then they go, oh, you have a pet doggy. Oh, okay. And then suddenly they're our friend as well. And that just feels right. So I think this is a little bit higher risk, higher reward going with the Switch. Whereas the bounce is more simple, straightforward. But you know what? Let's give it a shot. So we have a new function, that being Switch. And let's see. Select a new permission. We can get cash, passive bonuses from functions. Oh, opens passive slot 1 for use with any function. I may have mentioned this one point in time, but there is another way to use all of our functions. Active skill, supporting skill, and also passive. Then we get another limiter that we can unlock of our choosing. Either go with abundance, user level bonus, 2%. The process will sometimes spawn twin cells when terminated. So again, that's the little spherical object. Kind of looks like a Pokeball or an egg. And if you don't pick it up within 10 or so seconds, then it'll spawn a new enemy. Or we can go with efficiency, which has a much higher bonus, 4%. The process will strike with twice as much power. I mean, that does sound quite scary. So, I mean, there seem to be several limiters that have to do with cells, and I imagine that if you combine all the cell-related limiters together, that could also make for a difficult combination. But I guess we'll pick this up, and like I said, I don't think we're really going to use these all that much, but they exist.
It's getting late. The street should be packed.
Okay, so I am curious to see if we can mix up our help function a little bit here with that new function that we picked up, supporting it. Came from this side, right? Yeah. Okay, let's head back this way. Does look pretty cool. You see, if you look very closely, you can see the other images, the little like ghost-like reds that we leave behind us, and they're not just the same image, they're in much more of a dynamic pose, like they're lunging forward. And they change from one red to the next. If you look very closely, you can see. I think it's most noticeable when we're daunting this way. The ones at the very end are really extending with as great a reach as she can get. Whereas the initial ones are in a much more neutral, standing-like position. Okay, this looks like a big opening as well. And therefore, some more enemies. Let's get our friend out. It does take a little bit of time to spawn them in, but here we are. Oh, and you thought you could get us from there. A new weed. I didn't catch what it said. It does this time, though. I was a little distracted. Okay, unfortunately, Doggo is way in the corner here. It's like really stuck in the corner. There's an invisible wall there. This is what I was referring to before, where we just traveled a very long distance, and fortunately we've not used that much of the turn meter. Do a backstab, and can't quite finish off this clucker, unfortunately. But if we switch over to red, and we go this route, we can probably take you guys out this way. That might be all we need to do. Hold on. Do we know of any other enemies down here? Scout things out. Oh, yes, we do. Good thing we did check, because this guy was going to try to hit us from afar. So what if we hit you as well? Is that a backstab? That technically is not a backstab. Now that we know where you are, though, we can definitely be more deliberate. The directions of our jaunts. We actually want to be coming at you more like this, so we actually get backstab. Hold on. Oh, I can't really see if we're getting it from there, though. We're so far away. Okay, hold on. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Jaunt. slightly closer. It's gonna give us a backstab. I still can't see from here, but we'll give it a shot. Doesn't look like it. Ooh.
Weed's working overtime.
Ooh, we should be dashing. Okay. Let's see where... Whoa, why'd you end up all the way over there? Long distance you have to travel. Hold on. Try to make this a little more efficient. Who are we going for? Trying to take out the Clucker or the Weeds? Go for the Clucker. Almost enough to take you out, and then we'll have Red focus on the Weeds, because she's pretty good at that. Like so. And then just get a quick snipe on you as well. Just nab these real quick. And there we go. Okay, we have another OVC terminal over here, which we can check out.
Hard-hitting pull.
Blue skies are a choice. Help create an unforgettable quarterly solstice by choosing your favorite evening sky color. Okay, so in case it wasn't clear from previous polls that we've seen, this sounds an awful lot like nature is being determined by the citizens of Cloudbank? That sounds kind of crazy.
Sky looks blue because we want it to.
Sky looks blue because we want it to. Popular color choices in the high-rise district: cobalt blue, deep red, sea green, or burnt orange. Wow. I mean, I guess it's up to us. Let's go for cobalt blue is perhaps a little too normal. What if we went for a deep red or a burnt orange, maybe?
Orange. Okay.
You and 20% of residents selected burnt orange. Thank you for your feedback. Results will be posted in 6 more days. Only 27 days till the solstice. Okay, so maybe this is a preemptive vote for the solstice, but it still sounds like the citizens of Cloudbank are determining what the weather is going to be like, which is
Now then,
very odd.
back to the scene.
Okay, we do have an access point here, and I was curious to see. We don't have any additional memory, unfortunately, because I was intrigued by the prospect of putting Switch onto help. But unfortunately, we can't yet make that happen, not unless we got rid of something else. Jaunt is expensive, but it is very useful to have an ability that allows you to, even when you are still on cooldown, get out of the way of dangerous abilities. So I think we probably do still want to keep it. Is this the way out? Where is the way out? Down here? Down here. Oh.
Guess who?
Okay.
Behind us.
Okay, Luna is here. And there are a lot of enemies right next to her. She's, I think, best at hitting the bigger, stronger enemies because her bark takes up a lot of juice. Does she really have any AoE on it? Hold on. Can we hit 2 enemies with this? Can't really tell if we're hitting that enemy that is right on top of her. Or is that just her picture? There we go. Okay, yeah, that was just her picture. So that's 2. Or rather, really 3. So we are getting 2 for 1. Get 2 for 1 here, or are you far away? Maybe we do this, and there is a chance, technically speaking, the turn moves that people make, both our Barker, Luna, doggy friend, and Red herself, on her turn, these moves are not instantaneous. They are significantly accelerated, yes, but they are not instantaneous, which means enemies can move a little bit, especially if it's toward the end of your turn. So there's a non-zero chance that that bad cell that is just barely out of range of that last spark may in fact move into range. Ooh. By the time Luna actually gets around to doing that. But then for red, so we may want to finish off that last bad cell, but let's take a look. Oh, there's at least one enemy over here, if not more. Yeah, there are more. In fact, there are many more. I think we still go for the bad cells first. Oh, we have that great AoE. We are much better at taking out all the bad cells than Luna is. Does make me a little tempted to switch up our plan here where all these bad cells are, but maybe we just go a little bit overkill. And then, let's not do that last shot. We'll just save a little bit of juice. Ooh, get out of there. And there is one of the cluckers, it seems, that, yep, was trying to attack us from afar. Let's switch over to Luna real quick. See what she can get her over to. So I think we established that the weeds heal. And so that means damaging the clucker before we take out the weeds may not do as much good. So in truth, we may want Luna to just dispose of this bad cell, which doesn't take much damage, but it means red can focus on jaunting that. Oh, no, not that. Red, undo that. Jaunt this. It's probably still more efficient. Oh, not that, though. Nor is that. Come on. Come on. There it is. That's what we're looking for. Because then we can go and line up a pretty sweet shot here to get rid of, one would think, a whole bunch of worms and deal some damage to this clucker as well. And at that point, hopefully that means the clucker may not be getting healed, and we could potentially even follow up. Use another clucker and another weed further down this way that we would potentially go for. I'm not sure if we have the angle now to get both the weed and this clucker, but tell you what, I was originally thinking we'd go and try to load up on additional damage on you, which would be enough to take you out. That is tempting. Yeah. Then we'll use Luna's remaining ability to at least... Oh, hit both of them? Or just that? I think that might just be hitting one of them, in truth. We go slightly further? We do that? Still not sure that's hitting both of them. I think it's just hitting the worm, but then again, the worm is what we want to prioritize, so we will have one worm left and one clucker left, I think. But we'll see how this all plays out exactly. Oh, we missed on our second breach. As we have said, is oftentimes the case, unfortunately. Okay, so, Luna, I think you just take out the weed, and then you just go crazy on this clucker. Is it already dead? Hold on. Pretty sure that's dead. Not 100% sure about that. But then for us, let's lead off with the breach, because that tends to be the thing that misses if we use it second. Then theoretically, that is enough to take you out. There we are. And there you see that greenish circle coming out of the worm. That was the healing effect. Yeah, we definitely want to make... Locked. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Why don't we have red in that case? That doesn't look like it's doing much either. Hold on. We go from this side. Is that for some reason any better. There we go. That theoretically gets rid of the weed. And then that second breach is unlikely to hit. So let's instead move in just a smidge. The damage there, which theoretically is overkill, but just to be absolutely certain. We'll make sure. I think they're dead. I'm pretty sure they're dead.
I don't like this. Hold on, I want to try something.
Oh?
Hey! Is anyone out there? I thought so.
Yeah. Don't exactly know what you're expecting to hear in return. What's the side we came from?
Yikes. They got more friends.
Oh!
Run.
Okay,
Run.
I was kind of planning on going this way. Just to see if there's anything else over here. I wanted to see if this was a bonus area first. Turned out it was the real way. And we just need to go. Hold on. Yeah. And now they don't pay attention anymore. I see. There's an access point where we can save. And still no really new and interesting things for us to check out, but at least take a second to see if there's anything over here. It doesn't look like it. It does, however, seem as though we might have lost out on something in that back corner over there, unfortunately. Trying to pick the places that seem to be bonus areas first.
Maybe more.
But sometimes I guess wrong, because it's been... actually, when was the last time I played this game? 2014, I believe. So, what? 8 years? And it came out... Wait, no. Yeah, I think so. And what year did it come out? I should remember this. Bastion was 2011. And did this come out 2013? So I know I didn't play it as soon as it came out. Maybe I played it a year after.
Red, have a look out there. Toward high-rise. Traverson Hall.
It did come out in 2014?
The annex building. They're not there anymore. Half the skyline's disappeared. Whatever's after us, it's spreading. The Camerata. They'd rip this whole town apart. To get us. Or to get away.
What is going on? Camerata, apparently, are the ones behind the process. And apparently also behind some kind of destruction of the city as well. Oh, and the music again.
It's that sandbox.
And part of me doesn't want to go into this back door yet because I do love this song as well, but we'll do it.
Shall we? More of those doors opened up. How about we shut them?
Because the music does change, of course, as soon as we get in here, and this is actually a new song that we did not yet hear. Let's see. There are some other things. Still the ball. And it remembers how many times we bounced it previously. Still the hammock. Ideas mulled 1, but perhaps there are still more to consider here.
All cozy here, but what's going on out there? Process. I thought it only wanted you. It wants the whole town.
It seems like that may be the case, given how initially it looked like the process were just after us. But as we just saw, apparently it's processed much of the city as well, completely removed several buildings. Then, occupant stray process.
We're not alone. Hey, she's friendly, I think. Hi, Luna. Can I call you Luna?
It's the doggo! She's here as well. Lovely.
Luna, fetch. Good girl.
Oh, she'll even go after the ball. It's, you know, a little stuck in the corner. does perhaps make things a little bit more difficult for her. But there you go. That's more like it. Okay, well, let's head up over here. Because I don't think we'll be able to investigate anything over there. But we'll see. There is another speed test that is currently available. Again, I don't think we're going to be doing every last test. So just let that be known before you get your hopes up. Oh, there is also another door over here. In fact, maybe we should check out this planning test in this case, which is a different type of test altogether.
Door number 3.
Door number 3, you say? We never had door number 2. We're surrounded, you say? Terminate process in 1 turn, and all we have is what looks to be Breach, which is a very expensive ability, but I think that means all we're looking to do here is basically make sure that we hit multiple enemies with... Oh, hold on. Okay, I think we could see that we were going to get rid of it from that angle, but it was a little hard to tell. Let's just be absolutely certain. I think it's just these 4 enemies right here, right? I'm pretty sure it's just these 4 enemies. I hope it's just these 4 enemies.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
Did we do it? We did it. Okay, for a second there, the music sounded low and somber, and I was like, did we mess it up? Stained Glass unlocked. That's a new song for us. And some experience as well.
You got it.
But we got it.
That's our girl.
So of course, especially as you start to unlock more songs, we now have our doggo hanging over here, as well as the beach ball, we have the hammock. This becomes a place to just get a breath of fresh air in between what can be, at times, the tenseness of the other areas, the other encounters. Yeah, so I think what might have happened, we might have accidentally missed one of these back doors previously when we accidentally went down a direction that I thought was a side path, but in truth was actually a main path, and then we couldn't backtrack to see what we missed. And so I suspect that might have meant that we missed a back door one place or another, and that is why we saw that we went straight from door number 1 the first time we got here to door number 3 just then, which makes me think that this was probably door number 2, which would have initially showed up in that back door that we may have missed. But it's a stability test, which we've not yet tried, so let's at least give this a shot and see what it's all about.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there is more.
Yep, more sand. Something's
More
changed.
sand.
Try your moves.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, yes, once again, we find ourselves with abilities that were not the ones that we had used ourselves. So it's a crash. It's that turn one that turns enemies into friends, and then it is the stealthy one, Mask, that makes our next ability more effective. So that's sort of a setup ability. So this could be interesting. Let's see what the deal is here. So, functions presets installed. Withstand process for 90 seconds.
Just gotta hold
Oh,
off.
I see how it is. We need to survive. We need to survive. And that is why we can do things like make enemies friends and whatnot. What is the range on Switch? Well, now you're a friend.
Easy, pal.
Oh, we probably would like to have you be a friend, though. And I'm thinking we may just basically go non-stop with the Switch. Oh, I missed the bad cell, though. That jerk still friendly? Words to live by. I don't think so. I don't think it is. Does it? I think it said that it lasts for 3 hits? Yeah. As in it uses 3 abilities and then it switches back. And because the jerk attacks so quickly, with its little shockwaves. I imagine that means that it unswitches almost immediately. That's maybe not, in truth, the best target for us. Except, hold on. Actually, I'm curious. If we use our setup ability, Mask, then that means we're temporarily invisible, which is probably our best way to stealth around, but it is supposedly going to make our next abilities more effective. So I was kind of waiting to see if it was going to say that Switch was going to last for additional hits, but it doesn't seem as though that's the case. So I'm not really sure that Mask is particularly useful for us. It's not that expensive. Switch is very expensive, but maybe we just go and Switch have the... Oh, yes. Area of effect to potentially hit both of you there. I do like that. And similarly... Ooh. Just barely missing that bad self, but I think we settled for that. That looks pretty solid to me. Ow. Leave me alone. That jerk did last as a friend for seemingly a pretty considerable amount of time there. So, we just need to survive. So that means that we don't necessarily need to destroy these enemies, but of course, the longer they're friends, the longer we have where we are not actively trying to avoid them, which definitely helps. Otherwise, we'll be trying to perhaps run around, bide some time, whenever possible. Can I hit you both? I think the creeps may be the best option for this. And then what if we finish? What if we finish with a Mask? Let's try that out. So we've not yet really seen Mask, but this is our way to avoid getting hit by enemies for a more extended period of time, and that seems pretty solid. We definitely don't want to have that happen, though. Okay, so let's hit you guys. Switch you. Switch you. And then, okay, Mask does have a cooldown, so we can't just spam that non-stop. Notably, not really tried to use damage much at all.
Alright.
Really just leaning on the switch as much as possible. But, you know, why have us damage the enemies when the enemies can damage each other, right? Right? Isn't that the... Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I believe I switched you. Okay, now is probably a good time when we are stuck in this corner to no longer be stuck in this corner by making sure that we turn some enemies, and then Mask is back off cooldown, so I suppose we'll use it, as that will help us escape. Yeah, one of those creeps did not get turned because he was blocked by the obstacles. That is something to bear in mind. But if we can hide here for a little bit longer, we can try to get the Mask back more quickly, and they're not paying attention to us. So, I mean, this works for us. This definitely works for us. We'll take it. We'll take it. Don't mind us just chilling in this corner here.
They stopped. We won.
Don't mind us. So there you go. Takes a little bit of patience, but otherwise not so bad. And we unlock the spine in addition to 10% experience.
If this is going to give us an edge, then we might as well.
Okay. So there's our first look at that. Oh. Now we have a practice test? No pressure. That is new. We still have an additional speed test available to us as well. And we unlocked the spine, which is a song that we heard for a little bit before.
One of the greats.
And this is it. And of course, many of the songs in the Transistor soundtrack are just instrumental, but there are several that have lyrics as well, vocals. This being one of them.
Who's a good girl?
And once again, the music is dynamic, loud and clear when we're next to the music player, then gets quieter and more muffled as we walk away. So why don't we see what this practice test is all about?
What's behind door number 5? So calm. We can come here for practice.
Okay. So we can set up certain abilities as active skills, as support skills, and then see how they stack up when it comes to damage and just general, what do they do? Which, tell you what, there was one thing in particular that I was saying I was curious about. That being, having friend, and then having, here, and then using, I think it was turn, I was saying, to support it. Because then, yes, Bark does charm enemies for 3.5 seconds, which is just kind of a funny dynamic. Having a support character, Luna, create additional support characters out of our enemies. Just seems like that is perhaps a bit of a feedback loop. It could be very effective. Yes, there are unused functions, I know. But
it's a fake. Looks real enough. She's on our side.
okay, so Luna, just a normal attack, even without using turn, will make the creeps convert. So that's saying something right there. Then if you just bark a little bit, okay, that's all you can do, so. This is what I'm getting at. Apparently, we have achieved a record, and I think there definitely are one or possibly even 2 achievements that are based on getting a very high score on, I forget if it's specifically this one of the doors or if there's a different one where or any of the doors can work. We're just maximizing your damage in one turn is the name of the game. And so obviously that wasn't really what we were going for there, but just seeing how effective might it be to have a dog that can make other friends, and I think the answer is potentially reasonably powerful. It's just that it's pretty expensive from a memory standpoint, so it's kind of difficult for us to justify that at this stage. We do have one more speed test. Why don't we jump in and give that a shot here? But I imagine that I think the speed test, the first one, was the most difficult of all the tests that we had done, and presumably subsequent tests are only going to become increasingly more difficult.
Door number 1, round number 2. Ready when you are.
Okay. So, speed test 2 of 6. So, as we saw previously, the name of the game was destroying all the enemies as quickly as possible, and if we don't do it, or we have to do it in a certain time frame, and if we do, then we win, if we don't, then we lose. However, we have an ability that we have not yet seen. That first one that I'm looking at. The second one, I think we may have used. Okay, so what do we have? We have some weeds, a jerk, which doesn't seem to have spawned in just yet, but that is, of course, one of the bigger enemies. So I think what we're going to find here is that the weeds will heal, and then the jerk is the big, dangerous enemy that is going to be the targeting that healing, unless we get rid of the weeds right off the bat. So let's just take a look at some of our abilities here to see what they look like. Because, as I said, some of these look new. How much range does this have? Looks like... Hold on. Huh? Get? Don't remember this function. Not really sure how this works. Okay, well, it theoretically will destroy that weed, so I suppose that is something. but I am guessing a bit here. Trying to figure out what exactly this does. The get it's pretty cheap from a cost standpoint, but it has such a tiny little hitbox there that we saw that highlight for a second, and it went away. Come on. Oh, there it was. There it was. Oh, come back. It's further to the left than I was expecting, I think. Oh no! It is so small of a hitbox. So much so that I just like occasionally. There we go. Occasionally find ourselves triggering it, but only momentarily. Was this going to be the jerk, or is the jerk currently trapped in this block? Apparently, along with the backstab. And then load gives a lot of damage, and apparently a packet next to us is going to self-destruct. I think we still go.
Why not? Let's see how quick we can do this.
Oh, no, there are a lot more enemies. A lot more enemies than perhaps we initially thought. We did deal a lot of damage to the jerk, so that is saying something. But it does seem like the name of the game is just being really precise with get, and unfortunately, even after all that aiming, we just didn't quite make that one work. Ooh. Excuse me, sir. Please go down. And then... yeah, that's blocked. Doesn't seem like the get can go through walls. What if we... the young ladies... okay, this is a normal young lady, not a young lady 2.0, I think. Also blocked. Doesn't seem to have the range. I'd like to get the weed taken out. But if we do this, can we get both of you? Theoretically, seems like it. Okay. Now the young lady did not get damaged by that. Okay, so... Get? I would love to read the description on Get, because it seems like it's an odd one. Get closer, I think, before we do that. That may be enough to get rid of both of them. Or not. Or yes. These guys are a little annoying when they spawn in that quantity, but oh, hold on. Hopefully that gets all of them.
Go time.
Was there a delay in the explosion on that one? Perhaps so, but either way, we finished with a lot of time to spare. New song unlocked, another 10% experience.
Like last time, only better.
I suppose so. Okay, so it looks like those are all the practice doors that we can go through as things currently stand, besides, of course, the practice test, which is no defined objective. It's just go in there and test out other abilities, if there are any abilities that you are interested in trying out. Oh, this is how we change the music. Spine, stained glass, in circles, coasting, interlace. I think that's it at the moment. Yeah. Why don't we go for, what do we feel like going? I feel like stained glass we do for this area. It's relatively chill. Yeah, I think we go for that. Alright, in that case, let's return.
Back to reality.
Oops, there goes gravity.